If you're watching this video, chances are you want to pay for the right insurance at the right price, binge watch Netflix all day, and pick up the latest house cleaning hacks on TikTok. No? Just me? Well, maybe we can both agree that we don't want to overpay or underpay for insurance ever. Never ever. One way to make sure of that is by learning how personal insurance pricing works. We wish that we could easily answer the question, how much will my insurance cost? But the thing is, every insurance policy is complex. Prices can vary significantly. Yours should be unique to your needs, so you pay the right price. The only way to do this is to work with an agent to get an accurate quote. But before you talk to an agent, you should learn how insurance pricing works, average costs, know some specific policy examples, and ways to save on your insurance. That's exactly what we'll be doing for some of the most common personal insurance types in this video. We primarily serve the state of Massachusetts, so most of these ranges only apply here. However, if you're out of Massachusetts, you will still learn a lot about how insurance pricing works. We'll be going over 8 personal insurance types in this video. These include auto, named non-owner, home, life, renters, umbrella, flood, and pet insurance. This is a longer video, so snag your favorite snack and enjoy the show.
Car insurance usually costs anywhere from $58 to $250 a month, or $700 to $3,000 a year. If you own a car in Massachusetts, you will need to have an insurance policy. Massachusetts has a minimum coverage requirement everyone needs to have. We don't believe it is enough to protect you, so we will never quote for minimum coverage when getting you an auto insurance quote. However, that doesn't mean your insurance should break the bank. Things such as where you live, the make and model of your car, your driving record, the coverages, how high your limits are, deductibles you select, and more all affect the price you pay for auto insurance. For example, as you can imagine, you're more likely to pay more for auto insurance in Boston than you would be in Franklin. You're also more likely to pay more if you have a history of accidents or violations. However, as long as you have had no accidents in the past 6 years, you won't have to pay higher rates. Remember, leave the drift racing for Mario Kart. To give you a better idea of what you might pay, here are some specific car insurance policies we wrote recently. $250,000 per person, $500,000 per accident liability limits for a 2013 SUV garaged in Lexington, Mass. with an SDIP of 99 was $759. $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident liability limits for a 2018 minivan garaged in Uxbridge, Mass. with an SDIP of 99 was $1,157. With those same liability limits for a 2018 SUV in Norton, Mass. with an SDIP of 4 was $2,970.
Non-owner insurance can cost between $16 to $58 a month or between $200 to $700 a year. Non-owner insurance is bundled with renters, home, or condo insurance and is typically cheaper than a regular auto insurance policy. If you don't own a car but often borrow or rent cars, non-owner insurance will cover you for any personal injury and liability damages you may cause while behind the wheel. You can expect factors such as location, driving record, age, policy limits, and more to play a role in the cost. For some examples of what you could expect to pay, here are some policies we quoted recently. A 32-year-old living in Cambridge, $285 a year. A 33-year-old living in Cambridge, $460 a year. A 40 and 43-year-old living in Medford, $524 a year. Two 34-year-olds living in Boston, $653 a year.
Home insurance will generally fall somewhere between $58 to $333 a month, or $700 to $4,000 a year. Your home is your place. It's there for friends, family, and for you to unwind. It's important that your home insurance is there to protect your home and peace of mind from theft, fires, tree falls, and lawsuits. The cost of homeowners insurance will vary based on your home's construction features, upgrades, location, age, size, your exposures, your claims history, policy coverages, limits, deductibles, and more. Here are some specific home insurance policies. A home in Franklin, Mass. With a value of $239,000, personal liability of $500,000, and a $1,000 deductible has a yearly premium of $739. A home in Medfield, Mass. With a value of $1 million, personal liability of $1 million, and a deductible of $2,500 has a yearly premium of $1,346. A home in Roslindale, Mass. With a value of $374,000, personal liability of $1 million, and a deductible of $1,000 has a yearly premium of $1,795.
You can generally expect life insurance to cost anywhere between $8 to $83 a month or $100 to $1,000 a year. Now keep in mind these amounts can be higher based on your health and other factors. Typically, the younger you are, the lower your premium will be, so we always recommend people get this coverage sooner rather than later. Life insurance is a great way to protect your family and take care of them even if you pass away. It will provide a safety net for them that will cover funeral expenses, college savings, loan payments, and income replacement. Some of the biggest factors that can determine your life insurance costs are your age, gender, health history, family health history, if you smoke, your hobbies, occupation, and even the type of policy you decide to purchase. Here are some examples of some policies we've recently written. A healthy 34-year-old female with a 20-year, $1.25 million policy, $540 a year or $46 a month. A healthy 42-year-old male with a 20-year, $500,000 policy, $550 a year or $47 a month. A healthy 34-year-old female with a 20-year, $1.5 million policy, $635 a year or $54 a month. A healthy 42-year-old male with a 20-year, $750,000 policy, $800 a year or $69 a month.
We usually see renter's insurance policies cost somewhere between $8 to $25 a month or $100 to $300 a year. Your policy will vary based on your location, policy limits, deductibles, scheduled items, exposures, claims history, and more. Renter's insurance is similar to home insurance. It protects you and your belongings from theft, fires, tree falls, and even covers lawsuits against you. To give you an idea of what you can expect to pay, here are some specific examples of renter's insurance policies. A Somerville apartment with $20,000 of personal property coverage and a $1,000 deductible is $189. A Boston apartment with $15,000 of personal property coverage and a $1,000 deductible is $191. A Boston apartment with $50,000 of personal property coverage and a $1,000 deductible is $363. A Brookline apartment with $100,000 of personal property coverage and a $1,000 deductible is $724.
No, not actually for umbrellas, sadly. Umbrella insurance is extra protection that protects you from any claims that exceed your home or auto liability insurance limits. So if you ever have a home or auto claim that exhausts your coverage, your umbrella policy will be there to protect you from paying more out of pocket. Umbrella insurance will also pay fees during a lawsuit and in some cases provide extra coverage not included in your home, auto, and renters. A $1 million umbrella policy will usually fall somewhere between $13 to $41 a month or $160 to $500 a year. As you increase policy limits beyond $1 million, the premium cost increases in smaller increments. For example, a $2 million policy's premium might only cost 1.8 times the cost of the $1 million one, rather than double. A $3 $3 million policy might cost 2.55 times the $1 million policy rather than 3 times, and a $10 million policy might cost 8.9 times the $1 million policy rather than 10 times. The cost of a policy will vary based on factors including the limits you select and exposures including number of properties, number of autos, driver history, any watercraft, snowmobiles, pools, trampolines, play sets, dogs, your occupation, and more. To give you some examples of what you could pay, here are some policies. A $1 million policy for a Jefferson, Mass family with 1 property, 2 drivers, 2 vehicles, $204 a year. A $1 million policy for a Concord, Mass family with 1 property, 2 drivers, 2 vehicles, $221 a year. A $1 million policy for a Millis, Mass family with 1 property, 2 drivers, 4 vehicles, $394 a year. A $1 million policy for a Hopkinton, Mass family with 1 property, 5 drivers, 4 vehicles, $526 a year.
For homes, you can generally expect a flood insurance policy to fall somewhere between $41 to $1,000 a month, or $500 to $12,000 annually. For a standard condo in a low-risk zone, you can expect a flood insurance premium to be around $500. If you rent, since flood insurance will only protect your belongings, it should only cost a couple $100s. Flood insurance is an additional coverage outside of your homeowner's policy that will reimburse you from damages from a flood. The cost of flood insurance will vary based on your coverage limits and deductible, your prior claims, whether your property is a primary or secondary residence, home structure, foundation type, and most importantly, your flood zone. Flood zones are as follows: high-risk areas, A, V. Moderate risk areas, B, C, X. Unknown, D. You can look at the FEMA Flood Map Service Center to view flood maps of your area. Here are some flood insurance policy examples. A primary home in Blackstone, Mass, in flood zone X with $350,000 in coverage and a $1,250 deductible is $572. A primary home in Franklin, Mass, in flood zone X with $350,000 in coverage and a $5,000 deductible is $676. A secondary home in Chelsea, Mass, in flood zone AE with $250,000 in coverage and a $10,000 deductible is $6,748. A secondary home in Mattapoisett, Mass, in flood zone VE with $196,000 in coverage and a $10,000 deductible, $24,110.
On average, pet insurance is between $30 to $100 a month or $360 to $1,200 a year. Pet insurance can cover the cost of vet visits, accidents, emergency visits, and illnesses. It's a good way to keep your furry or scaly friends happy and healthy. The cost varies depending on your pet's age, health, location, how many furry or scaly friends you have, and their breed. Here are some specific policies for you to look at. A 5-year-old Shiba Inu with $20,000 limits and a $250 deductible, $212 per year. A 4-year-old Rat Terrier mix with unlimited coverage and a $250 deductible, $485 a year. A Pembroke Welsh Corgi under 1 with a $5,000 policy and a $250 deductible, $635 a year.
Now that you know the average costs for your personal insurance policies, let's talk about ways to save money. Bundling. Many insurance companies offer incentives for the more business you provide them. By bundling multiple policies, such as your homeowners and auto, with the same insurance company, you may be able to save approximately 5 to 25% on your policies. Increasing deductibles. By setting higher deductibles, you can save more on your monthly payments. However, your insurance will not cover a claim that's below your deductible. Make sure you're comfortable with the deductible amount since you will pay that out of pocket if you have a claim. Discounts. Many types of insurance, especially auto, have discount opportunities. Be sure to check with your agent to make sure you are utilizing all of the discounts you are eligible for. Pay via EFT, ACH, or pay ahead. You can save money based on the way you pay for your policies. Paying in installments using ACH or EFT with your bank also allows you to eliminate monthly billing fees, saving about $50 to $100 per year. Another option is paying in full. While not realistic for everyone, paying in full eliminates the monthly billing fees. Some insurance companies provide a discount for paying in full, sometimes up to 15%. As you can see, there's a lot that goes into the cost of your personal insurance. That's why we recommend speaking to an insurance agent so you don't miss the necessary protections and savings. Quoting through a website or calculator is always convenient, but you'll lose out on personalized protection. To get started on getting a personalized quote, click the Get a Quote button at the top of our website. We hope you learned something new today about how insurance pricing works. Your needs are different than everyone else's, which is why your insurance should be as well. We're excited to speak with you.